It was a few days until Mrs. Kookaburra's birthday party. Snugglepot and Cuddlepie were very excited. "Let's take a trip to the big city to buy her a special present," said Snugglepot. "Oh, yes!" cried Cuddlepie, clapping his hands. "I am sure we will find a very special present there." So the nuts emptied their piggy banks and put their money inside their hats. The big city was very far away, so they took cricket taxis. Snugglepot and Cuddlepie enjoyed the ride, but they were glad when the sky turned pink and they could stop for the night. "I am so tired," yawned Cuddlepie. "Look, butterfly cocoons." Snugglepot pointed to a nearby branch. "Let's borrow two," he said. Wrapped up in the soft silk, the nuts were soon asleep. But in the middle of the night, they were suddenly awoken by a loud howling beneath their tree. "What is that?" Cuddlepie trembled, peeping out of his cocoon. "I don't know," Snugglepot said, with his hands over his ears. "There they go again. Makin' such a din." An elderly blossom complained, looking out from her tiny house above. "Nobody can get any sleep around here." Looking down, Snugglepot and Cuddlepie saw two koalas bathed in moonlight, howling with happiness. And lots of tired little nut and blossom faces peeking out all around. "What are they doing?" Snugglepot asked the old lady. "Singin'. Mr. and Mrs. Koala always do it when the moon is out. Doesn't much sound like singing to me." The blossom went inside, grumbling to herself. "Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Koala." Snugglepot called out. "Could you please be quieter? We are all trying to sleep." Mr. Koala laughed. "Ho ho, young nut. Isn't the moon beautiful? We love it so," and the awful noise continued. "We need to make the koalas forget about singing to the moon," Cuddlepie said. "Then everyone can get a good night's sleep. I have an idea." They gathered the weary neighbors and told them of their plan. Nodding and smiling, everyone went back to their beds as the moon slid behind the clouds. The next day, everyone eagerly came together. They were going to put on a magnificent show. They sewed feathers, petals and leaves, and Snugglepot and Cuddlepie spent all day helping the performers practice. They were so hard at work, they forgot all about their journey to the big city. "Don't worry, Cuddlepie, I have an idea," said Snugglepot. He scribbled a note and gave it to a cricket to deliver. When it became dark and the moon once more lit up the night sky, Mr. and Mrs. Koala climbed down from their tree. Before they could open their mouths to sing, Snugglepot spoke. "Mr. and Mrs. Koala, just for you, we would like to present the Moonlight Pageant," he said, bowing grandly. One by one, the performers came onto the stage. The flannel flower babies performed an elegant ballet, accompanied by the frog and cricket choir. Then the wattle babies put on a funny magic show. They can hide a lot of things in their fluffy yellow clothes, you know. "By gum, I haven't laughed so much in years," said Mr. Koala as another act appeared. Mr. and Mrs. Koala were so enchanted, they didn't look up at the moon once. When the curtain finally fell, the clapping and cheering was deafening. The night was a huge success. "Well, well, here are my good friends," a familiar voice said. "Mrs. Kookaburra. What are you doing here?" asked Cuddlepie. Mrs. Kookaburra held out a note. "I heard about your show, so I had to fly over and see it for myself. And what a treat it was." She smiled. "It's a wonderful birthday present." Snugglepot and Cuddlepie grinned back. "Happy birthday, Mrs. Kookaburra."